Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW 540i xDrive. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This 540i is finished off in Brooklyn Gray Metallic. MSRP is just over $76,000, and this is powered by the 3-liter twin power turbo inline 6 paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 376 horsepower, 398 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent through the xDrive all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,300-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 18 gallons. You'll expect to see around 26 miles per gallon in the city, 33 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 117.9 inches. Its overall length is 199.2. It has a width of 74.8 and a height of 59.7 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the 540i, this one is pretty much fully loaded. This has the M Sport, M Sport Pro, and Executive package as well. The M Sport and M Sport Pro package provides it with all the gloss black accents that are up front. So for the kidney design in the grille, everything is gloss black. This model even has the illuminating package, providing that light surrounding the entire grille surround. So at nighttime, that lights up. Very neat to see that. This has a forward-facing camera with the sensor right in the middle, as well as the active grille shutters. So those sections will open up to provide some more cooling to that engine. Now this also has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals, with a dark housing up front just to blend in a little bit more with a nice sleek design to them. And then all the gloss black down below, along with parking sensors and large inlets right in the middle there, as well as cutouts in both corners to provide even more cooling. And then check out all the contoured edges and crisp lines running throughout that lower section. There's also some nice lines that come down the hood and an indentation right there with the BMW badge right in the middle. So it matches the top of that grille as well. And then as we work our way to the side, the M Sport Pro package provides it with the 20-inch wheels. They have a two-tone design to them with the blue M Sport brakes. And then this also has the body-colored side mirrors. They are power folding. There's a camera as well as the turn signal. And then this does have a full moonroof. So the entire roof is gloss black, as well as all of the window trim and the pillars right in the middle. Now there's very nice lines in the lower section, as well as more gloss black. And this even has the newer design from BMW for the door handles. So it gives it more of that flush and integrated look. And then being a sedan, has a very nice design to it with that rear glass there. And then the rest of the lines running on top of those door handles. And then in back, this has a small gloss black spoiler, backup camera with the LED taillights, dark housings just like up front. There's all the parking sensors, more gloss black in that lower diffuser. Reverse light is right in the middle. And this does have a remote start, so you just have to triple tap on the lock button in order to do that, and then you can use that to shut it off as well. You can use the button on the key fob or the electronic button up underneath, and we can open up that power liftgate and take a look at the rear storage. So there's plenty of space. There's a cubby over on the driver's side. There's also one over on the passenger side. And then there's even additional storage underneath where the 540 has a spare tire. And look at these two compartments here. So you can place some items up underneath the floor as well as those bins if you need to. And being a practical family style sedan, you can also fold down the back seats. So that gives you a lot more interior space for larger items, of course. And then up top, you can lock the vehicle. The one on the left side will just close that power trunk. And then as we work our way to the interior, you just heard it lock. I'm sure there's a setting you could do to unlock from the back, but if I just place my hand up front, we can quickly unlock from the rear for the settings right now. For this door panel, there's a manual sunshade, so you can use that as needed. There's also brushed aluminum. It's on the Harman Kardon speaker, as well as the release handle and the trim accent just behind that. And then there's a little bit of space down below and blue stitching running throughout all of the leather. You'll notice more of the blue stitching with the solid black leather seats. And at 5'10", hopping into the back, I have a good amount of space. I have the front seat set at my height. There's also an area where you could place attachments to put your tablets and charge them at the same time. There's climates, auxiliaries, a little bit of space down below. And at my height, even with a hat on, I have about a ½ inch or so above my head. So for this size, it's actually very nice. You could have 3 people back here, and it might be a little bit tight, but it is practical with its size. Right in the middle, we have the armrest with 2 cup holders, and then you can even fold down this middle seat individually. So if you need to gain access to the back, you have the option to do that. This also has a rear sunshade, so you can use that as needed, and very large windows on both sides. There's even another manual sunshade that you can use for that back window. So you can get very comfortable and out of the sun in the back, and have that sunshade closed, of course, just to give you a little bit more shade. So very nice for the back. You'll also notice too, we have the 5 badge just on the back. Now the door panel up front is just like the rear. However, this has some ambient lighting, as you can tell right now, running across this top section. There's memory seats. We also have a control that I will go over once we start this up. There's lock and unlock, more brushed aluminum, all of the window adjustments, side mirror controls, trunk release, and more storage. And then front seats have a really nice design to them with some of the colors stitched on both sides. We have the lateral supports and all of the automatic adjustments down on the side with the leg support that you can see is currently out at the moment. Now, once we hop into the interior, we have a solid black leather M Sport steering wheel with the M badge down below. Really cool spokes as well. There's also the stripe right in the middle. And then let's fire this up with that crystal button down below. Take a listen to the 540i. And coming back to the digital gauge cluster, left side shows miles per hour, right side is the tach along with what gear you're in, and there's some fixed information running across the entire lower section. Now, to go through all of that info, you will use buttons over on the right side of the steering wheel, where there's also volume and shortcuts to your music, Bluetooth, and voice commands. So pushing on this button right here, we will pull up the content. Then we can use the rotary dial to further go through the rest of this information. So you have quite a lot that you can go through front and center. We can pull up the map as well. We even have a G-force meter, and then you have your music as well. Now, what you can do with this information, if we go into the map again, you can scroll over to layout and change the entire layout of this screen and still have the info right in the middle. So just depending on how you want to view this information. The last one is for the head-up display, where currently in the standard view, showing miles per hour and the speed limit sign. Directional adds the compass, assisted adds your distance pacing that you can go through. There's also sport, so it adds the tach, and then reduced is the same as standard. So you have quite a lot that you can go through. This even has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. There is a boost setting on this left one, so if you hold that for a few seconds, it will show up with a timer counting down from 10 seconds. Left side, there's all the cruise control settings. And then over on this left side, there's an air vent control along with all the headlights. We have a few more adjustments and more of that lighting that you saw running on the door panel. Now coming back to this control right here, if I push on that, it pulls up the driver's seat. So you can go through all this information as needed, even pull up the front passenger seat as well. Now the entire dash is finished off in leather. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system on the home screen, you have the map, as well as some info that you can scroll through on this left side. There's also shortcuts into your music, your nav. You can pull up all of your climate adjustments, so you can go through all of that. You have home. Those 4 squares there will allow you to go through the rest of this info. You have your interior lighting, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your climates, owner's manual. You can quickly get through all of that using the rotary dial down below, or you can scroll through it with your hand, of course. Last one is for Bluetooth, so you can easily get through that. You have your climate adjustments for your temperatures, and then of course this has heated and ventilated seats along with the heated steering wheel. Now there's also shortcuts down below with this dial, so you can further go through all of this without actually using the screen. So very nice to see that. More of that color is just underneath that. It goes all the way to the passenger side. There's also defrosters, some more air vent controls, wireless charging down below. There's 2 cup holders with some auxiliaries, even more of the interior lighting. And then let's put this into reverse, where this does have the 360 camera system. So you have no shortage of visibility with any angle that you go into. And then when you put it into drive and we go back through the cameras on this left side, now we have that forward facing camera, so you can pull all of that up and you have a few more settings that you can quickly adjust. Now this also has the backup assistance, so when I put it back into reverse, you can get into starting that up or closing out of it, which is a pretty cool feature to have for this. Now if we go into drive and then we do that one more time, sport mode allows you to use these paddle shifters. Now there's no actual button for park, simply just push on the e-brake and it will automatically put it into park. Now on this right side, if I push on this control right here, this will pull up with your camera system. So that's just a shortcut there. The control just behind that will pull up your driver assistance as well as your drivetrain and your chassis. You have iconic sounds, which I believe is piped in exhaust notes that you can hear, so you can turn that on and off, and then a few other settings that you can go through. Now this 540i also has a few different modes. So you have personal, you have sport. That will actually change the entire gauge cluster as well, along with all of the lighting. So right now it's red on the driver's side and blue on the passenger side. We can go into efficient where everything is going to change again. All of that lighting disappeared and turned into light blue. So it's pretty cool just depending on your mood for the day. And it will even adjust the sunshades in the rear and the front. So when we go to digital art, everything turns purple and those automatically adjust. So really cool to see that, kind of a gimmick, but just depending on what you'd like to see for the day. There's also volume and power along with tuning for the audio. And if we open up the center armrest, you have plenty of space with an auxiliary in the back, and then push on that button there and you have even more space in the glove box, more of that lighting just above it too. Up top, we have all the controls for that sunshade and sunroof, along with the dome lights. You have a few controls for the sunshades just behind that, and it looks to be a camera right there in the middle. I am not sure what that is for or how that works. Interesting to see that. Comment down below if you know what that is for. And then a look at visibility. It's very easy to see over both shoulders. So for this family style sedan, it's practical and easy to see. As we set off now behind the wheel for the 540i, this is a really cool sedan to go with from BMW because this particular model has the M Sport Pro package as well as the M Sport package. So we do have some extra goodies and some of the performance that you're looking for without necessarily jumping up to the next level. So in this case, you can go up to the M5, which would be the most powerful 5 Series. So if you're not looking to spend that additional cost, you can still get a very practical and fun sporty sedan for much less. Let's put this into the sport mode setting now. I have the iconic sounds off. So this is just a regular normal acceleration. And it's kind of what you'd expect. You can hear a little bit of that engine. But if we put on the iconic sounds and we're coming around this left-hand turn or right-hand turn, not only do we have great handling, but now we have a little bit of that exhaust note. And from the outside, it actually does sound like there is a change, but from the interior, it's a little bit more of the piped in sound, which a lot of newer vehicles are doing. Kind of cool, kind of not cool. I know a lot of people really want to hear that engine and its exhaust note itself, but you have that for this model if you want to hear a little bit more of the engine. And these paddles are very responsive. So we have a quick driving vehicle with these paddles. And on the left one, as I mentioned earlier, hold it for a few seconds for Sport Boost. And you have 8 seconds where it basically downshifts for you. So if you need to pass, merge, something like that, you're having some fun. Obviously you could downshift yourself, so I think that is kind of a gimmick, but you can use that as needed. But as far as driving the 540, this is something that you can daily drive. It's so comfortable. It's a BMW, so it's well refined, well insulated, and you have a pretty spacious size for a sedan. And in sport mode second gear, here we go. Again, very quick in the shifts. It's also very smooth too. If you're going with the 540i, you want something that's a little bit more luxury focused, not quite as sporty, but this is something that can handle some back mountain driving. It's not the most performance oriented, I will say, but it's something that kind of has the best blend of both worlds. If you want a little bit more sportiness, not an overkill or like the M5, but you still want a practical daily driving sedan that just has a little bit more bump to it. But behind the wheel now for this $75,000, $76,000 luxury focused sedan, like I mentioned, it's very nice. These seats are very comfortable. We don't have massagers for this model, but it's also well insulated. Even with a truck like that passing, it's what you would expect. Very nice for this model. Not a whole lot of buttons either, so it makes it a lot more minimal with the controls. Everything is pretty much up top, minus the controls you can use down below, but it gives it a great look in my opinion. And it's also easy to go through. Not that loud either. Under a little bit of an acceleration you can hear it, but it is on more of that toned down side, even in sport mode. But let's quickly turn around. So with a UE, turning radius is pretty tight. And with one last acceleration, here we go. That is going to wrap it up for the 2024 BMW 540i xDrive. Once again, a huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Make sure you check out their website. That link is down in the description. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.